Okay, we're live. Cool. Everyone can see.
Danger one fine
Yep.
day.
The what now?
As I glanced around him, didn't have too much to say.
Troy, don't you dare get me copyrighted.
I don't think I copyrighted from when I'm singing.
Is that a detective
Here we go,
with
Troy.
a friggin' bubble pipe, or was that a drawing of the United Kingdom?
Did Ethan give
Yeah,
you
I
a?
just got a notification that I'm streaming. Nice.
Did Ethan
I think
give
I
you
just
a
did
here?
as well.
That
Yeah.
small
Oops.
dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Snake.
Speckled band.
You must have read too much Warriors to call it an adder.
Awesome. We're on
No,
board the
it's funny.
stream ship.
Oh.
Oh.
So then, let us
That's
unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
When does it become steampunk?
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. An in-cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Why was Heavy in the cutscene?
Yeah.
You know, I swear to God, if... What is his name? Renosuke, the main character, I think?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if he's getting blamed for this murder, I'm gonna start thinking that he's the descendant of Maya. Or Maya's the descendant of him. Ugh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait, I can't move. What the? Why am I handcuffed?
I feel like this might be Sherlock Holmes.
Take it away, No Name.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's Sherlock
Oh,
Holmes,
hold on,
but
let me
it
set
doesn't
up.
seem like it's talking like that. So you wake up now,
It's going to be No Name Troy.
You want me to
Must
say
be a
it?
Russian dude.
Hold on, let's see who it is.
I can. Let's see who it is.
Ah,
first.
it is the Russian dude. Go, Troy.
We had to drag you out of wardrobe.
There you go.
I do not believe you. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man.
You found me then?
Da, we found you, and now you pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe?
Sorry.
Now you have been fired. It is time to admit your claims. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is,
No, I'll tell you everything.
Is this me?
Probably.
Probably.
Who knows?
There's only one thing I'd like to know from you.
Isn't that... Oh, it's her.
Oh,
Yep.
damn it.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Sasato! Wait. What did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? You gotta be fucking kidding me!
I
No
told you it was gonna
way.
happen.
Dead.
Ha! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses.
What? Kazuma-sama. Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body?
Please. Do not try to tell us you are doing a terrible thing in here in your sleep.
Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No!
Jesus. Dramatic much.
That fucking hurts. I don't want Kazuma to die. Damn it! Kazuma.
I told you he showed he gave the death flags at the end of the last win.
It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble?
Ah. Don't try to find it funny. Don't you find it funny? Fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study?
It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look.
Oof. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body.
I could probably fit in that.
Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. If you can find yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
Man, imagine being stuck in a place for 50 days, not being able to go outside. Oh, wait a minute.
We had to put up with that for like 2 years.
I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway.
They're Russians, what do you expect?
You're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure.
What I want to know is, why do you need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean?
From your close friend, more to the point, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away.
No, but if she knew that what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this.
I suppose so.
Anyway, it's got time for that steward that steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there. I think it won't. I think it won't be for long.
Oh my, fuck!
What?
Are you okay?
Oh my god, sorry. Sorry, Cookie just jumped from underneath my bed and attached herself onto my leg with claws. Hey, honey, that's mean. Cookie. Don't look at me like that. You know what you did. Okay, sorry. Just scared the hell out of me. Alright.
Anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yes, but what if the steward decides to open a wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in it.
Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper?
What?
Then I can stick it over the wardrobe once you're inside.
I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together.
We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer.
No, I'm not a murderer.
Duh. You said it before. Duh. You said it before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Oh, cool. Into the action.
Pause for a second.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
why
what's up?
are they considering him the murderer when the sticker that when the piece of paper was stuck to the wardrobe was perfectly on? How would you achieve that from the inside without outside help?
You see, there's only
Doesn't
one
matter.
man that holds the power of logic, and he hasn't been born yet.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
Oh, is that Edward?
Yes.
Edward is my favorite Phoenix Wright character. I love him so much.
I've never played a Phoenix game. I don't really know how it
Oh,
works.
I'm gonna have to let you experience Phoenix Wright. It's so good.
So I was just putting up to my head and I was like, wait, this doesn't add up.
He
Feel free to
really
continue.
he really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it in another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me! Susato, I think. Sus or Sus? Sus.
Sus.
Susato. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then? That's true, yes. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would have always waked before dawn to do his training first thing in the morning.
Fine.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I just started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when he managed to get inside, there was Kazuma, collapsed on the floor.
What?
I'm having to think, because I'm starting to think that this is a Mia incident all over again. Because Russian, he's from Japan. He
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
Russian. Ah, great body outlining. And the white tape there shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yeah, alright. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruto-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that's would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself.
Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious.
You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that.
But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Don't you fucking
Well,
attack my kid
That's
like a
something
gay
you
cat.
can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there be?
Well, no, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then
Then what?
nothing. Forget it.
Huh? Kazuma-san, he was always saying the same thing, that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yeah, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. Yeah, your best friend just died. The look in his eyes then, it was darker than I'd ever seen it before. Sasuto-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on this ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Okay, last night. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yeah. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yeah. I know it sounds unbelievable, really I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Sasuto-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it! I really don't want to doubt you, but the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand why. Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. Oh, don't try to go anywhere. You're the
Perpetrator.
You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I know I'm making myself sound stupid whenever I try to read stuff. I promise I can read at a high school level. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hi-ya! Damn. What
Down
the?
he goes.
That was a Sasuto takedown. Sasuto what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry? Prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. Let me investigate for it! I have to get Sasuto-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of an awful crime. Kazuma would stick this over the door of the wardrobe for me. It says, keep out in Japanese, though I'm sure the Russian crew can actually read it. Let's examine it real
Probably.
quick.
Keep out.
This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea even if they couldn't read, so we used it anyways. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. Rotato. You can see the remnants of glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. Although it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into paste and used that instead. But to stowaway like me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread as thinly as I possibly could. I couldn't bear to waste any.
Quite smart.
Cool.
I think that's it for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look at this, my collar pin. I wish I had an attorney badge to present her.
I don't know, to be honest.
But, No Name, I think what you said earlier, that's what is gonna be applied here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because like that's the most logical option, but then it's a being a great game, so I don't think logic's even plays, and so now my brain is mucked.
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was, I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah! Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I truly were the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
In cold edge!
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Sasato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up?
Can't believe I actually called it.
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you! So you finally believed me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am, a magician? There's gotta be a stepladder somewhere in this game. For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Sasato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you don't do anything that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyways, I should start investigating in here, examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Let's move. I'm tired of being in here. I'm handcuffed and under house arrest by the crew, not to mention Sasato's constant glares. I think it's fair to say I'm stuck in this cabin for the time being. I should focus on investigating here to see what I can find out. Damn. Okay.
Examine
I
the
think
guy.
we examined the track.
Hey, yo! Okay, let's see, what is this?
In Russian.
Behemoth. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Bura. It's essentially a list of requests. Oh, it's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
We're supposed to check them out. found that dangerous first. I was like, wait.
What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Bark.
A pet.
I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Oh dear, that won't do. What's the matter, Sasuto-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruto-san?
I'm the opposite. I'm always constantly scanning.
I'm sure you're careful to look all around using BM, aren't you?
What are those? What are those things you just described to me?
Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin.
Obviously,
Yes,
the
let's do
initial
that.
Batman.
I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Okay,
His sword.
That's Kazuma's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this ship. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. You better carry around this sword, Rinosuke. You better. What's up, my man? Perhaps I should see what the Russian crewman makes of this scene of the crime. Excuse me.
What?
I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean.
Grandmother told me Japanese people don't not make jokes. But I see it's not true. I see.
Sorry?
The criminal asking investigator for information about this crime. Very funny.
Oh. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. I might have useful information, though I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
Yet. Of course not. Now back to the corner of the room and make silence.
I'm sorry, the fucking nyet killed me.
I say no more to you.
Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Okay. What is this a picture of? Tell me.
Who's here?
I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. Okay.
Find that wall scroll.
Wall scroll.
Yeah, it doesn't match the text on the floor.
Seigi. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Fucking fucker. Okay.
Text on the floor.
The door?
Text on the floor. Text on the floor.
Alright. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote the message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Troy, you know Russian. What does this say? Rappa e pob.
Russian?
Hold on.
Rappa e pob.
It says here, Glenn sucks.
Rude.
Okay, what does it actually say? What does it actually say?
Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner. but I can't read your writing.
Pretty sure someone will explain it.
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruto-san. What? Then, what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? It's... You're on a Russian ship. There's a Russian everywhere. You can look and can compare these letters to those and be like, huh, that's kind of similar.
Again, only
Isn't it
Edgeworth has
strange?
logic.
Isn't it
That's fair.
strange how the text on the floor is different to the text on the scroll?
What the hell is this?
Bone and a knife. You're not gonna investigate it?
Bone, I
We're
believe.
gonna investigate the table. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama? No, 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 no!
I'm calling it now. I feel like they were drugged. Or at least one of them were.
That's my dinner from last night, a roasted chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Sasano-san. I ate at the table, of course. Bark. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like the chicken at all, did he? No, that's right, so he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Okay. But
I'm genuinely trying
nothing...
to piece things together.
You can investigate the door.
When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. You keep looking at me like that and we're gonna have problems. When she glares like that, I feel all tense up and down my spine. I remember reading... I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. Have you heard of Sherlock Holmes?
My original character?
My original character. I made him an OC. But the door of the cabin and the frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and a thread trick here, I'm afraid. I know you did it, bitch. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine.
There's that little pink thing on the ground.
What is that? What do you think this is? It looks like a
The bell.
broken piece of glassware. Whatever the
It's got a
thing is,
bell.
it appears to have been broken clean in two.
I think it's a bell.
It does look like a bell. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from the kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it? What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yeah, you're right. It's the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in this cabin. Okay.
Remember B&M to move around?
Yeah, I know. I'm not completely done with this sector. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes. I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a than a Sasuto takedown. Ink!
You investigate the book.
Okay, I can't. Okay, I think the ink is not a thing. Books!
Well, you can.
The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruto-san, in a fit of rage? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Are we finally gonna get a clue? Well, I'll set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Do not touch it!
I feel like it's messing up that goal.
You just messed with the scene of crime. Okay, boop boop.
Which is a crime. Interfering with
The
the
dust.
crime.
Here we go. Oh, just make sure.
Read the pictures. Oh, tried the item, you tried the lock. Good thing you tried.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, you've
Okay.
done everything on the side. That's fine.
This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though his last entry is incomplete. Which means, what, he was in the middle of writing it when the accident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be valuable clue. Hi-ya! That's out of the question! What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts! But what if it's something important, something relevant to the case? This man literally just watching this girl throw me twice. Alright, I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either, but in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Well, I guess I can't read his personal thoughts. Ayo?
Ventilation system.
Okay, bug. It's some 2 weeks since we set for sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Hey Cookie, you're not attacking my leg again, are you? Don't you twitch your tail at me. No time to be sassy. Oh! This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. You want to pull it, don't you? Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of culture research, obviously. Yeah, you're part of the May family. Or Faye family, I mean. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. Andrew, I will throw a fit if there's not a stepladder joke in this game.
How am I supposed to know?
I'm not saying that you have to know, I'm just saying.
I mean, a stepladder joke.
All the games have a stepladder joke where people argue what's the difference between a ladder and a stepladder.
Hmm.
Which, you
Well,
know,
one-
you'd find out if you got past the first case in the first game, Troy.
The step ladder is brings you up a little bit, where a ladder is varying heights.
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate in the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to, you're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose maybe that's it? What the fuck? Who was that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall! Naruto-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. The last foreign person I talked to tried to frame me for murder. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Sasuto-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Finally, I don't have to talk with myself. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
This is the critical point in my investigation.
Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Greetings!
What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Stop.
Ah, I see. Fascinating.
Sorry, what do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me.
Oh yes, everything is clear now. Brain of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. I've received just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken.
I have only been in Japan, sir. Sorry? What?
And now, whilst venturing towards foreign claims, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament.
Oh. Well, that's true at least. But how?
How the deuce did I know that? Perhaps it was really elementary deduction, something like poisoning.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being that you are a merciless revolutionary. The Irish text is a bit hard to read, so I have to get a bit closer.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Um,
can you? You have
okay.
fled your native. No, okay. Right. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the bare-boned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too! Yeah, I believe that summarizes the fact beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Or my goggles.
Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you?
Certainly I am. You see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name?
I'm Japanese, sir. I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this, Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruto-san. Absolutely wicked. Listen, there's no way Hi-ya!
I kind of understand why he thinks that he's Russian, because they're wearing the same clothing.
Now
So
explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous.
yeah, I kind of.
How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes! I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously! Oh. Forgive me. And as for you! What kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head!
Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign claims, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not?
Well, yes, maybe.
There you have it. You see? You see? What do you make of that?
I love how animated he is.
Yep.
Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs in the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. It's more plain observation.
Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My methods are founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brazy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right!
Aha. I don't think you introduced yourself.
Ah, my apologies. Problem miss with me. none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The im- the imitable Sherlock Holmes. What an introduction!
So, it's really you? The actual Herlock Sholmes?
The very same, the imitable actual Sherlock Holmes.
Do you know this man, Sasato-san? The most famous detective in the world, Naruto-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on, then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure of it. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this?
I cannot take this man seriously.
Before you continue, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real fast.
Alright, well, while you do that, I'm gonna look at some of these people. Kazuma, certified lawyer and my best friend. He was
Also
taken from
dead.
this world. Oh, yeah, he was taken from this world. Alright. Sasato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant who is traveling with Kazuma to London for a study tour. She is the epitome of a refined Japanese lady.
Epitome.
Huh? Oh,
Herlock
epitome.
Holmes.
Epitome. Excuse me.
Herlock
Herlock
Holmes.
Sholmes. There's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of the famous great detective. Not a person except me, apparently.
I can understand why you thought you were a Russian person, because the main character in Kazuma was wearing the same clothing, and Kazuma had spelled out a Russian word in ink, which was mentioned in the cutscene at the beginning.
That
So with the relation of clothing, it made sense that why you thought you were Russian.
That's fair. Ah, the symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like this spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although, it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badge. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders, a sharp pin for a sharp mind or something. Is there anything behind it? Ah, a screw! My personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pen, they won't accept you as a Yume student at the university. You may not come in, they say. Of course, you can get a new pen made if you can just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget not to forget that.
The screw is literally like, how you wear it.
00091.
Oh, one.
Pretty sure that's a 6.
Well, look at the 1. It's upside down.
So it's 000901.
Don't know what that has to do with this case, but okay, let's see. Yeah, see?
Well, showing Herlock Holmes the badge shows that you're not a Russian spy. Then it's
You
saying
are
where it's from.
smart!
And then saying,
However,
here's the
if
number
this
on
is
the
like
back,
any of the
tell
other
them this,
games,
and they'll look it up.
What'd you
this
say?
is like any of the
So
other,
like, it possibly has been there.
Andrew?
I'm back.
this is like any of the other games. The pin is completely useless.
I still love showing my defense attorney's badge to anyone that I meet. Alright.
It's a possibility.
Great Detective Cosmo's death. What were you just investigating? Great Detective.
Like that.
So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again?
Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Holmes.
Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it?
No, I am not her. I have hair. Please call me Sholmes.
Herlock Sholmes.
Nothing big, man. Read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh, yes. Randit's magazine. full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then?
Indeed, I am.
And you've read so many of your own stories you've started to think you really are a detective.
Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward.
Backward?
I trust the bearer of the fear reports my gracious detecting achievements, my chronicles them in the magazine. And it wasn't.
You have a biographer? You have a biographer, do you?
Biographer?
Mine goes by the name of Doctor. Presently keeping shop in London. Don't know why I keep messing up.
Dr. Wilson.
I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fascinated. I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cured royal crown. Royal crown.
Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not.
Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logically reasoning in its purest form.
A science? Really?
The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of muscle, a slight indolation of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data.
Right.
And trained logic, and the trained logic, and the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth! As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago.
How can he look me in the eye and claim that?
So you see, I have returned both for observation and for deduction and frame. That is what makes me the only, the one, and only Sherlock Holmes.
Man, what a character. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet?
Have I managed to do anything, my dear fellow? You suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place. That's right! Was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
Just jump at him and stop punching him.
When I become anxious about Kazuma-sana's this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I insert myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, so luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And behind us seemed to be an excellent match, Mr. Naruhado.
Ah,
We were double taking this last time. Every moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me.
oh really? 2 facts, you say? Ooh,
Oh,
that's kind of cool.
what's that?
Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please, what two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning?
Ah, yeah. But first, the first thing. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me.
Yes, yes, I understand, but what were they?
Allow me to
Elucidate.
elucidate. Elucidate, that's the one. Two facts that I could do from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute.
Oh, I don't want to get put on blast by the internet, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian?
Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Russian word. That is the Russian word for wardrobe.
Do you really think... Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
In their final moments, many find their native language filling their heads. For this young man, Russian.
Kazuma was Russian, was he?
For me, I considered Gar. Maybe the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gar, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
That was loud, whoever just opened up a can.
Yeah.
Your mama.
Oh. That's you.
Where you found Mr. Naruto-san sleeping soundly.
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian Revolution killer.
Naruto is a Russian sleeper agent.
Why is it that I'm Russian too?
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. Got it.
Man, I'm glad we
No,
got a
okay.
I'm glad we got an English person playing this for us.
By the way, I got a GCSE in drama, and I'm using it to my advantage.
Nice.
And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze, if for possible hidden details.
I swear if they say like something like, "Oh, he was left-handed, not right-handed." This
What a novel contradiction.
It's almost like that hasn't been done in a Phoenix Wright game before.
Wait. How? I'm just trying to think here because didn't Sholmes say that he was taken down in like a tussle or something?
I don't
If
remember
I-
him being taken down in a tussle.
I think I remember something about Sholmes mentioning fighting or something.
Did he?
Anyway, I think so. Yeah. I'm the one reading the character. I'll remember what he fucking said the most.
That's fair.
But then that brings up the question: where's the wound? Where's like the bruises? Where's all that kind of?
The person said there was no visible outside.
Yeah, there was no visible outside that we could see.
Anyways. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered before the body was removed.
Yes. Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Oh, yeah, thank you. The photo of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. The Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink, it would appear to have been written by the victim's final moments. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
What? Play?
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that?
Ah, yes. A train of reasoning that led me to the truth.
Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think?
What on earth is that word?
Hold on, I got
Something in Russian.
I got something for this, hold on.
I don't know.
Come on. What's going on? Can't open camera. Why not? What's going on?
Oh, didn't you say Troy knows Russian? Troy, what does that say?
It says, "No name sucks." Huh?
Right.
What does it actually say?
No clue.
Huh?
It says something in Russian.
Yeah, we kind of got with that.
I think that's a Russian word.
Troy, I swear to God. Hold on.
This man learned to speak Russian.
Of
to have
course.
I
knowledge.
didn't
It
learn
says
to
of
speak Russian.
course. It says of course
Oh.
in Russian.
I knew that.
Oh.
How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean?
Ah, yes. And now, famously ignore trouble predicament you find yourself in.
Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassins of 16 part?
Ah, yes. The more sordid details, it was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads: Revolution, Isle Bolshevik, flees Russia via Shanghai.
That doesn't look anything like the character. Hold on, I want to see if I can figure out what the hell this paper actually says.
Oh, we're dead.
Revolutionary runs away from Russia via Shanghai. Oh, that's exactly what it says. His goal? Crystal Tower.
Yeah, I was mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
This Russian word of course called action by yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered.
Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma wrote on the floor.
As a simple act of reasoning to realize that the focus of this crime was the same merciless revolution. One who kills the very man who helped him to escape after his trident was discovered. Yes, you violent Bolshevik.
No, no, no! How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at the face.
Well, you are a citizen revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt. You have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well.
Please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on this ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Well, That's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassinations blowing up the Crystal Tower?
I clearly interviewed the man and printed all of those words in the article. Believe the man has believe the man has believe the man has perpetrated this far, and those is pushing. Yeah, everything about this revolution, Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Oh, hold on one moment.
What?
That's good. I got the top up, I didn't get out anywhere.
Howdy, get out! I'm back. You can continue.
Oh, sorry, I was checking listening to. Also, quite currently, here in the article. They just here in the article. I got that wrong. Bolshevik is recently returning after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan.
Where even is it anyways? This Afghanistan place.
Somewhere in Russia. Here, take the paper for yourself. There's a memento of the latest deduction.
Oh, thank you.
I absorb all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby.
The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record. An article on the front page of the Russian newspaper. The headline reads Revolutionary fees via Shanghai.
You guys know what he means by rubbish bin, right?
Yeah. Trash can.
Yep. And
Man,
you may find the article
can't you just call it
page
normal stuff?
of interest as well.
On the back.
Once arrive over it some time, the interest takes you, though you may need something to interpret.
Sure about that? I got something to interpret right here.
Yeah, it's got a fence to your face.
Hey, yo? Hold on, one
Oh.
more. Let's take a look.
I'm guessing there's gonna be something about princess.
Let's see.
Princess.
Loss, sales of missing famous Prima Baltrine. Man, Google Translate is not doing its best on this. But I know that says that clearly this person is missing. You're not gonna let me figure out what it says. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruto-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. Oh, maybe Google Translate can read what's on the bottom right beside your face. Tiara for
That's maybe
20,000
using,
rubles.
Well, wow.
In Shanghai, famous... yeah, she's missing. No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make sense of it.
I'm glad you've noticed this article.
Ah!
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes.
It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. And prima ballerina of the Novovich ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikola Pavlova.
Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
Why are
would
Japanese
appear the
names so
woman-
hard to pronounce?
True. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her Jackson hole. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles.
Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Sasato's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the Novovich ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with power.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both Pavlo and Remarkable. Yeah. They've requested international assistance at all ports with failing to get tickets.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruto. The headline reading... Cool. Got her. Looks like a revolutionary. INT.
What
This
year is
man.
this set in?
Like, this is just the turn of the 20th century.
Oh, yeah, I believe like it's just turned to 20th century. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says.
One of you floundering is a sorry. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front part of the newspaper is concerned with the fearsome Russian Revolution. It reads, Revolution, Violent, Bolshevik, leaves Russia via Shanghai.
Ah, yes. Can't you see the similarities in the lips, the nose structure, the eyes, the cheekbones, the beard, the beard? Yes, you told us that before.
It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the truth.
Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he?
The position is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he don't need to shave it off.
I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. Okay, got everything we need from that. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Alright, what were you just investigating? Let's get into the meat of the situation. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim.
Yo, what windows do you run in? You got a desktop.
Pin, cap, knocked over candle. He knocked over his teapot!
We see that the victim was engaged in putting some text.
London diary. Cosmo is keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private readings. It could upset people.
Tragic! And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yet, believe it or not, I know a mastering of Japanese.
Oh,
He says as he's speaking Japanese right now.
I see. Well, you're about to know what Sasato. You're about to know what a Sasato's takedown is. Sasuto? He read the book. Sasuto-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely the diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, and the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Very be precise as detail.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering of boy. A smattering.
Naruto.
Leonora, Bonsai, Mikado, Nado. I trust you suitably impressed.
I think that's 7, or I might be mistaken.
I have no clue this scribbles on screen.
Ah.
But if there is listed with complicated looking characters in which I can read precisely none. Ah,
Man, the animation is so jiggity it looks like Season 1 Ruby. So what was all that showing off about earlier then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm much obliged, my dear madame.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound?
The fairly deep waters. Pray, go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:30 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard of that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into a court record. A diary Kazuma was keeping of his trip to London. According to the last entry he made before his death, he spied what appeared to be a speckled band.
I don't know why it's such a terrible word. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Ah, do you have somewhere to go?
Yes, lunch. As it happens, the victim's right. Give me a second. As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary have piqued my interest.
Pete.
Sorry. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to?
Right, the great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel, faith, stagnation. We crave mental acceleration. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clearer soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
What? But why?
glance at your wrist that reveals the answer.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the first subject expecting this matter. No.
There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point.
What the hell is this man on?
Serious.
You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago.
Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
You're quite sure? Well, it's very strange. I wouldn't have you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really.
So, what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are.
Hold up! He says you don't have the face of a criminal. You have the face of a Russian... What was it? Revolutionary. That's the one, yeah. Russian revolutionary. I do not understand this man. Yet I am playing him. Anyways, well, anyway, that was then, and this is now.
What do you mean?
What I mean, sir, is this. You are the culprit, and you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Come on, boy, roll over.
Bark. Now he's just being plain rude.
That was genuinely me laughing.
Yeah, so I decided to accept it as the reading. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruto-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way— Hi-ya! I love her.
And you go again.
After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? If you give me any choice in the rolling over part. Or as if.
You guys understand why I did the roll over thing.
I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea! The situation doesn't look good for me, but there's still a thing I can do to help myself. I honestly thought she was just gonna karate chop the damn things off.
Same here, to be honest.
And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Damn, I am— Oh, there's Russians. Is that— Is something wrong, Naruto-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling that I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? What? It is him! God damn it! I recognize that face, but it can't be.
Oh my god, no way, it's not. No.
It is. I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Ah. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of crew and aboard this ship. Again?
I feel like that's gonna be a running thing.
You certainly
Probably.
seem to enjoy being undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected
them
to see
next
this
door.
man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out in this hopeless situation.
What's going on with coughing?
Don't know. I figured he was poisoned during the last thing whenever we figured out that the English chick poisoned the victim, but I honestly have no idea.
You got tuberculosis.
I'm liking. I feel like he's gonna be like the old bad character, where just showing up in different uniforms.
More than likely.
Here I go again, talking to myself. So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-sans reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that have been a possibility? Hold on.
Animals?
Okay, I'm good. I'm not so
How has
sure.
it already been 2 hours?
But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. It's been an hour and a half, actually. Almost. I think we're
feels like-
almost
What time we got? What time you want to go to the gym, Glenn?
after this. Minister Jigoku said we should all be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma was assassinated? Obviously, he couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector, go commit Sudoku. So, if there is anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm gonna need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how. There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me out of your innocence, Naruto-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you're in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select Present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. So, Evidence that would
Diary.
give us visible reason to investigate the next door cabin, it is.
The
Alright,
diary.
yes. I think I know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. I think you're right, Troy. Oop.
Yeah, 'cause the diary said something about the speckled band.
You can hear a faint whistling sound, what looks like to be a sort of speckled band dingling from the... Yeah.
Go back. Back again.
It's like
Oh,
it's
there is a
down.
present button. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Don't know why they
Hang
put
on.
it there though.
Where it always is.
Well, no, I thought you could just pull it up from the
I did too.
thing.
What's this? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band in the dangling from the ventilator grill. This book is blue, that one's red. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right, so if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard this scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going to assist his Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruto-san. Just select move and we can leave the cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's
Just
see what we
select
can find
move.
out.
Let's roll out.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
That's literally what I was thinking when I said that. Then we'll select the door on the right.
What the hell is that?
Mousetrap.
That's a big thing of cheese.
I don't think
Big
that's
for Big
cheese.
Mac.
I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama is being sent on a study tour by the government. That's why he's being put up in the first-class cabin.
You know who killed him?
Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in the steerage. Really? That must be awful. What's up, man?
Oh my god! It's the buff one, Jesus Christ.
He's biggin'. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down.
He's just over there manspreading.
The door next
Hey,
to
Troy.
him leads to second-class accommodation.
Nah.
I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose, like people in handcuffs.
Correct.
Nah.
He's like a Beyonce character.
Naruto-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's truck when I first came aboard, and ever since then I've been shut inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. please, don't give me that pitying look. Oh, heckin'.
What did you do?
Accidentally pressed the thing. What the hell is this?
Mousetrap.
It looks like the fucking thing that Doc Ock and Tobey Maguire's movie used to recreate the sun.
Yeah, I really think they'll have that sit on the floor.
I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying that's what it looks like to me. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Cheese. It's made from milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what it tastes like. You can't eat it, Naruto-san. The trap will snap shut on your finger. Really? But, I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined in the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin is steering and is number 539, by the way. 500 and... How many cabins are there?
Probably around 700, maybe 800 at most.
What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets an alarm bell ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. It can what? Oh, what are you doing, Naruto-san? You mustn't touch it. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Rude.
Should take that stuff to heart, Glenn.
F you. This looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck. Look. The Burya is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruto-san. It is? Well,
Magic.
consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, mainly many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. That's not
Yes,
how it is at all. That's a huge book on top of the table there. There must be a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruto-san, even to a sailor. Anyways, last night log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. What's going on, big fella? Um, excuse me, but could I ask you something?
You little stowaway murderer.
That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but I perhaps ask something of you?
You little third-class lady's maid.
Oh. We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Sasato-san.
I'm not sailor. My mom gave me that. My mother gave me name. I am a senior crewman, Biff Stroganoff.
Whew. The best thing I can do is avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff, about the first class cabin area.
Here we are in the finest part of Bioria steamship for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be slow, but I'm just... There seems to be
Yes,
stripes
he's got
going across
tan.
his face.
Yes, he's got tan stripes.
Yeah, there is.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I'll let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal.
Thank you? If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Duh.
Sasato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like...
Duh.
I think it's probably Russian for yes or no. Genius.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, sounds like there will need... Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's?
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylock. He is very important Western gentleman.
A Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with the murder of the student boy.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylock is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in a lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands.
That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylock came aboard?
That is none of your business.
Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there was anyone there. Well, presumably, since the gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important, is that right?
That is not your business.
Are you in watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
Duh. All the time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is said about student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to read that.
That means no, by the way, as well.
Yeah, I figured. Sasato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no.
I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all.
And you didn't hear any strange noise or sense anything was wrong in some way?
I said no.
Sorry! I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there.
This is enough. I cannot say no more.
Oh,
It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to Captain.
yes. Alright.
Bulkhead to second class area staying locked at all times. You escape when lobster whistle. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as the English say, when pigs fly.
Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly. Shall we? Definitely. Okay, I can look at the book again. Okay, hold on. This is stuff I've already read. Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank. Oh. Oh, you fucking... leave a check mark against it. That's the way to the second class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyways. Okay. Boop boop. Okay, got that. Got that. Got that. I think the last thing is the door?
Probably.
This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever is in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Knock knock.
I'm waiting for Sean to
No
just
answer.
bust out.
We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help us with our inquiries. How annoying. Oh my god. What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. There must have been a woman. Stand
Imagine
aside.
if Sean.
Oh.
I need to open the door down.
Mr. Shones!
I shan't be stopped when the pitch is on me. I reveal the kicking doors of my hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Shomes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
It doesn't? And how the deuce can I dispatch the muscular earth? What play can I kick?
I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief.
Margaloidy?
9th of January, SS Blurry, first cabin, number 2.
It's the fucker!
He's reading this guy out.
Oh yeah, it's me.
Yeah,
This is Russian.
you should do a lot of the Russian stories since you're actually good at it.
Who are you?
A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream.
A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there is nobody but me in this cabin.
True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed?
Get out, all of you. Now,
No name?
Oh, please, please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby, Royal, I believe.
yes, that's me. And you are?
I am the one and only, the actual Sherlock Holmes. You've heard of me, no doubt.
No.
I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines. No less. So I'll assure you, you must trust me completely.
The man uses that magazine like a business card.
Detective? I do not trust detectives.
We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. There wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself in this wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold to ask you to open the small trolley, please? Okay, even I can't fit in
What?
that, and I am basically just getting about.
I am the fucking big one. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that?
Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk.
Don't look at me. Hey, yo! Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruto? Yes, the case just shook.
Leave now. Otherwise, I'll call the steward.
So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grisby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before Burly Shayla returns. You're just gonna let us look? You know what? Fuck.
He says he's gonna let you. You guys are gonna try, and then he's gonna.
I'm gonna try it anyways.
He's gonna get pissed off. Yep,
What do you think
also.
they're doing? This is my cabin. Get out.
Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps?
No.
What a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree, but there's maybe someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Alright, I want Troy to talk more. Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something.
No.
Oh, that's business.
I fucking love the no. I love the no. Oh.
Do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now.
This is going terribly. We're not getting anywhere here. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. I guess I can't talk to Troy.
We got to get the gym soon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I could just like Troy.
Oi. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes?
You will need to only address me as Stroms.
That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there?
Why, I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe, whilst waiting for the inevitable.
Inevitable.
I can't speak. Thank you.
Thanos.
Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of, of detection into service. I don't know why I couldn't speak.
Oh,
And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken?
well, no, actually, you're spot on for once.
Obvious. Observe closely. Our Russian host, Miss Captain, Samuel, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what the most effective weapon to use against the Russian hiding a secret? May I? Why? The truth of it. Though it should be pointed out that some that such methods are not exclusively for resurrections.
Right.
Can you imagine how the Russians will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? You have to witness it.
Oh, yes, please.
Well then, what you are about to see may well outstand you. But I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction into the case. Could this man be a mere
Hackneyed.
hackneyed? Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious person, I ask you?
What?
From time to time it occurs to me. Is the word dubious on account of his Russian, or Russian on account of his dubiousness?
I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you. Or anyone. That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on our first meeting, but once I read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment.
I must have complete silence?
What are you doing? Why are you beating at my face like that?
Just as I thought. I have quite made... Yes, I have quite made up my mind now.
Hmm?
There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the... To summarize, I have two incontrovertible conclusions.
What do you mean?
Number one, the true identity is that of a villain. Using those shields, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. And if that be, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Has it not?
Oh, Naruto-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What unfathomable twaddle? Oh, yes. I've read all about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. It's like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right.
How could you?
How could I possibly know something you wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. Let us explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So, do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery, such as board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together.
Whoa.
The great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Old man's ID.
This is kind of cool.
Oh, the dubious looking Russian Mr. Royal. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place. Is that enormous pair of shears in your hand? Now, we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begs is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of a magnificent beard, Mr. Rabbit? Once again, the answer is plain. You have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Listen. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper and consider this fascinating front-page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Ryder. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolution. In translation, the headline reads, Revolution by Bolshevik leads Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot all fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely obvious beard. Having noted the article itself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair and throw it away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the FISM Russian Revolution himself. Vile Bolshevik! Not that I've had you myself, you understand? A revolutionary on the run. Topic 2. Wrongdoing.
Oh my god, this is great.
Now, as far as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime and the proof of this crime over here.
I bet you it's the missing ballerina.
Oh yes, Mr. I know, and people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see? Sorry,
Ah,
and I assure you, and I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. Proof of your crime is from our very eyes. Yes, that troubling case. Now I think that the case be opened and its contents laid bare.
no. I refuse.
What could you possibly be dealing inside the axe? By my estimation, a young lady perhaps? One quite seductive therein?
Don't be absurd.
And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Hear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup Joel betrays us. Once again, we need only follow your future plans to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open the traveling case can equally be found in the page of the newspaper. There is another most stimulating article. We start from the fleeing revolution to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nordic Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nicola Lena Pavlova. The thing of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the Russian enigma elements like elements game. So,
Sasato-san? That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, can you come over here for a moment?
Ray, what can I do for you?
It's about your deductions. Would you mind?
Not at all. Go on.
Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other.
Ah, yes. I recall our discussion earlier. At the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, will be able to revolutionize his own appearance.
In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina.
Indeed, a truly startling revolution. Sorry. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman.
Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I can fit a 5-year-old in there easily.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15.
No,
She's
I
just a
didn't
midget.
know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from that case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lethalness in their bodies.
Vinegar?
Such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to control oneself in the confines of that small case.
Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionism in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. This whole thing is turning into a circus. What'd you say, Andrew?
Contortionist.
Contortionist, that's correct. Mr. Naruto, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his power of observations are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Susato. It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some key words in his deductions? Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure we could do that. We'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind.
This man is a lot of work.
At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me.
It's not that funny.
And you, my good fellow,
Sorry?
take a moment to look at your wrist.
My wrists? Where are your handcuffs? Huh? How did...
I thought that they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of fortune.
I don't believe it! Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel!
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished.
I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this.
So, let us begin. Warlock Sholmes is bound to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. The old man's identity, a revolutionary on the run.
Spot the contradiction.
Correction.
Oh, this dubious looking Russian Mr. Warlock obviously catches the eye in the first place.
It's just repeating what he just said.
Yeah. The enormous pair of shears in
it
your
all?
hand.
I asked myself what you one was on. You also, of course, get in bed.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'd ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruto-san, and see if it helps the matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intends to use those shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sherlock's deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruto-san. why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyways, let's see if there's anything we can use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Rot really going to use those enormous shears for? Oh!
What?
He was going...
His back hair or whatever that thing on his back is, maybe? Golden locks.
Golden locks?
Yeah, golden locks, my guy.
Oh, what if... It's the ballerina in disguise?
She ran away. And posed as kidnapping.
What the... What's this? It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks. No. The color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylot's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here.
Take that.
Oh, that's so cool. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks she sports.
Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I am intending to expose. Locks, golden hair. Certainly does not benefit an old man.
You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair...
One still very much I do.
Troy?
Only I had managed to cut my hair off my hair, no one would have expected.
I want to keep this young 15-year-old girl to keep speaking deep Russian.
Yeah,
Even when
I kind of like it.
changes her, when we change out of the outfit.
Huh?
Even when they're out of the outfit, they still gonna be deep ass Russian.
Committed to the bit.
Oh boy, then I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna be silent this entire
Most likely.
Seems like it, yeah. I kind of feel like I'm taking your place.
because I'm pretty sure we've met all the characters now.
Really? Oh damn.
Well, whenever out of costume, let's let Andrew have a line so that way he can read.
Alright.
Alright.
The question then begs is, why would you design to make yourself of those magnificent rocks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter.
Oh, whoops.
I think those. I'm pretty sure it needs no further explanation.
Yeah.
The evidence that revealed. Oh,
I'm not clicking, I promise. It's going on its own.
it's fine.
Well, that was a shock.
I didn't mention the movie like that.
I had no idea the old man was a really young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruto-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly... Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyways, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true. Given that Mr. Roylott is actually a woman, exactly, he, or rather she, can't possibly be the merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fixed the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in this situation like this recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Boop boop.
Newspaper. Yep.
Oh, wait. I can what?
Enhance.
Focus on a hair. Focus on the hair.
I wanted to
Focus on
see
the
if I
hair.
can give her like a big mouth and small eyes, but I can't. Sorry, I'm just being dumb. Present.
Why is the audio messing up for me?
Yeah, it's being very laggy right now.
I'm
Oh,
here too.
sorry. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina.
It says sorry, but it's try fixing it. Okay.
Hold on.
It's just that I
The
think
now
it's
prima ballerina of the Nordic ballet disappears from Shanghai.
Is it any better?
No.
Hold on. Let's try that.
Alright.
just Discord issues.
Think we're good?
Done.
Fine right now.
It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name.
Yes, because your true identity is that of Nova Witch Ballet's Premia Ballerina.
Miss Nikoma Pavlova.
Aw.
Oh my god!
Who's in the big hat?
You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg of you, don't tell anyone.
A ballerina on the run. Solved.
How long is this first section?
Oh my god.
It should be over after this.
Now, that's for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlina. Taken unawares, people have the prosperity to let their eyes stray, you see? And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly on the constantly seek lies within you glance falls.
I bet you she's got an animal in there. She's got a pet,
Probably.
and pets aren't allowed.
No, it's the tiara.
Well, it moved
Why
earlier.
not both?
Proof of your crimes sits before our eyes. Yes, that's a troubling case.
This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young lady is apparently committing? I can see I'm gonna have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruto-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Stop it. I'm enjoying it, me personally. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what the woman is up to. Okay, what proof? The proof... Okay. Oh!
Oh,
just lightly shimmies to the right.
That's convenient.
Okay, tiara, traveling case. Young lady, you are 15. Having alcohol like that. Wow, look at that dazzling tiara. I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruto-san, try it on. What, me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. What? Are you saying I'm pretty? Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently. Man, everybody in a Phoenix Wright game has a damn bad memory.
Yes!
Clearly.
The proof of your crime is surely this tiara.
I believe this tiara is worn today by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Which appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the article. I love his little hat flips.
Yeah.
And if reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. Is that right?
The crime you have committed is theft.
Oh no.
Yes. You left your ballet unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. It looked like she got shot for a second. That was funny.
Everybody in Phoenix, right, does like once or twice.
I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone. And I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me.
This girl is only 15 years old and she's run away all by herself? She must have been extremely lonely.
Alright, I'll tell you everything. There's no point in hiding it now.
Okay. That's just not the case, Dave.
What?
There remains one unfortunate thing about you.
Misery? What do you mean?
Oh. Ultimately, refused to open the shopping field in our presence. It's reasonable to conclude therefore that but it's some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, I was listening to playing games with me. Nothing came to my attention. Indeed, very good idea of your case, even before I laid eyes on them. Yeah. Not as well suited to another crime, are we? You cannot do well, betrays me. Once again, we are need. We need only follow your response by the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your case is what and the books on the shelf.
He is completely changed tact with his deductions now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf in all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. Then there has to be another reason why she didn't want to open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden in that case, It should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. It's the heckin' fucking. Oh, I hit.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why I refuse to open your case is written in the rules of the passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
Inside of the case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it. I really mean. What do you guys think it is? Gun
A
or
pet?
pet? Okay, well that's obviously a
Or-
As
pet.
we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous items will move in its own accord.
This leaves just one possibility of a lot. Inside your traveling case.
Is the last item listed as forbidden a pet?
I feel like that
Let's take that now.
last line they both said it simultaneously.
Yeah, my mind couldn't make up to like wait for no name, and I was like, I don't know.
It's a
That's
snake.
That's real fun for me though. I very much enjoyed that little section.
I enjoyed that as well, to be honest with you. That was a lot of fun. The back and forth and that's a lot of fun.
So clearly, you aren't who you said you were.
No, I'm not Grimsby Roylet. My real name is Nicolina Provolova. Everything you said was correct.
You're astounded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. They said the same night you stole aboard. That's all?
Which couldn't have been easy. The Bureau has a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck aboard without being noticed?
In order to destroy your identity, you somewhat recklessly gaze up an old temple. And serve holding with your path by severing your long hair. Well, then, hair is no like matter. My personal recommendation is to leave it well alone.
So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin?
So if it's gonna be the head, there was a sort of a full inkling of a bell. Why not of this young lady, naturally?
More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when they ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me.
I think they spelled disguise wrong.
She probably doesn't know how to speak Japanese, Troy, and that's why she said disgust instead of disguise. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man I see? Or I see.
I put on the fur hat and fake beard, and then just before you came here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and...
We went into the annoyingly
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that from time to time.
Are these two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case?
You're right. It's my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, and if you say anything, say to any of the crew.
Your secret stick with us. I'll show you. Challenge. You must tell us as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night.
Yes, alright, I'll tell you.
Well, Mr. Naruto? Wasn't it something, Mr. Shum's great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what, but at least Miss Pavlov agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Oh my god.
Indeed, it is incredible. And one more thing.
Oh, yes? What?
Observe your lips.
Damn it.
They're back on.
Heckin' fucking. Ah! Your hands are cuffed again! What? But how?
True to my word, I have restored your shackles.
When and why? There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruto. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Can it, really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on knowing. I have to find out what the speckled bandit Cosmo wrote about his diary really was.
I think it'd be fun to be in Nintendo.
Can we let me see.
Don't touch.
Huh?
I'll tell you what I know about last night, but please, you must not touch my things. How do you say, forbid it.
Oh, sorry.
As well you should be, young man. What vulgar manners you have.
I'm trying to let it breathe.
Put you around in a young lady's private belongings. Neither shall I allow it.
Hypocrite. How is everything okay. Oh, because of private belongings.
Yep. What happened last night, running away, or friend?
I'm gonna save for now, because it is getting a little far in.
Oh my god.
We shall continue this later, because it is... We're about to reach a 3-hour point. Is everyone okay with that for now?
Yeah.
Sorry, Andrew. I know you just got able to talk.
You'll be able to talk more next time.
Of
Yeah.
course.
The next 2.5 hour session we do.
Thank you for joining.